I am looking at a small group of houses built along the edge of the water. The first thing I notice is the color. The buildings are bright yellow. They stand out against everything around them. The sky is gray. The mountains are gray. The water is dark. But the houses are warm, almost glowing. They feel out of place, but also intentional. The houses are built on wooden structures above the water. They stand slightly elevated, supported by beams that disappear into the surface below. It feels fragile, but also stable, like something that has been there for a long time. There are no people visible, no movement. The entire place feels still. The water is calm, not perfectly smooth, but quiet. It reflects the dull colors of the sky, without much detail. It does not draw attention. It simply exists. Behind the houses, there is land, covered in snow. Everything looks cold. The roofs of the houses are covered with a thin layer of snow as well. The white sits on top of the yellow, softening the contrast, but not removing it. It feels like winter, not just visually, but emotionally. The kind of cold that slows everything down. The kind of cold that makes movement feel unnecessary. The mountains rise behind everything, large, heavy. They are partially covered in snow and partially hidden by fog. The fog makes them feel distant, even though they are clearly close. They do not look sharp. They look softened, almost like they are fading into the sky. The mountains feel permanent, unmoving. The houses feel smaller because of them, more temporary, more human. I begin to notice how quiet everything feels. There are no signs of activity, no lights visible inside the houses, no people walking, no boats moving. The structures suggest life, but the moment shows none of it. It feels paused, like time has stopped for a while. The wooden platforms and walkways connect the houses. They create paths between them, but no one is using them. They exist, but remain empty. The entire place looks prepared for people, but no one is there. The water separates the houses from the rest of the landscape. It creates distance, not just physically, but emotionally. It makes the place feel isolated, like it exists on its own, disconnected from everything else. Even though it is part of a larger environment, the yellow of the houses continues to stand out. It feels warm, but the warmth does not spread. It stays contained within the buildings. The environment around them remains cold, gray, still. There is a contrast between what the houses suggest and what the scene actually feels like. The houses suggest comfort, shelter, warmth, but the environment suggests distance, silence, isolation. The fog above the mountains adds to that feeling. It hides parts of the landscape. It makes the space feel incomplete, like something is missing or something is being covered. I look at the details, the stairs leading down to the water, the small dock floating nearby, the railings. Everything is carefully placed. Everything has a purpose, but none of it is being used. The dock sits still. The stairs lead nowhere. The paths remain empty. It feels like a place that is waiting, waiting for movement, waiting for sound, waiting for something to happen. But nothing is happening. The stillness becomes more noticeable the longer I look. It is not just the absence of people. It is the absence of change. Nothing moves. Nothing shifts. Everything stays exactly where it is. The houses remain bright, but the feeling remains quiet. The water remains calm, but the feeling remains distant. The mountains remain large, but the feeling remains heavy. I start to feel how separated everything is. The houses from the water from the land from the mountains. Everything exists together, but nothing feels connected. The space feels divided, even though there are paths, even though there are structures built to connect. The connection is not active. It exists, but it is not being used. The scene feels peaceful, but also empty. Not empty in a negative way, but empty in a quiet way, a still way, a way that removes urgency, removes movement, removes noise. It feels like a place where time slows down, or maybe stops completely. I see a place that looks warm, but feels cold.